Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are back in the kitchen. This is a special cooking with Cameron. I'm going to show you today how I make Yorkshire puddings. And now don't confuse yourself with the name, this is not a sweet. It is the UK equivalent of a plate filler like a biscuit. Very, very simple ingredients. A cup of eggs, which is 4, a cup of all-purpose flour, and a cup of milk, salt and pepper to taste, mix in a bowl, whisk it up, and that's the recipe. It's so simple. Right now I've got the oven on with the what do you call the bun cases here? Bun cases where you make buns? Is that it? I'm asking you a question.
I know you're asking me a question, but I have to interpret that.
Okay.
Anything we speak, I have to interpret that.
So
It's called a muffin
pan.
Muffin tin.
Muffin tin. Okay, muffin tin. The muffin tins are in the oven getting hot. The oven is on 480 degrees. You don't have to go to 500. I usually do it. I just do it at 480. But you want the muffin tins extremely hot. Once I'm happy that they are hot, I'm going to add some vegetable oil, just a little bit in the bottom, just to cover the bottom of each pan. Today, I've got some beef dripping left over from cooking some beef the other day. So I'm also going to add a little bit of beef fat into each pan as well, which will give the Yorkshire puddings a little more flavour. Once I've got the vegetable oil into the pans, I'll put them back into the oven and let the oil get extremely hot until it's starting to smoke. I use vegetable oil, not olive oil in this, and this is the rare time I do use vegetable oil in the kitchen, because vegetable oil is better with that higher heat. Olive oil tends to start burning earlier than vegetable oil. Beef fat is even better, that you can really get that hot. But anyway, right now I'm going to mix this up and I'll come back to you when I'm ready to pour it into the pans over at the oven. So my oven is up to temperature. It's just made the bing bong sound. I've mixed up the mixture. Make sure you get some good air bubbles into it. And the consistency is creamy, milky, it depends. I've been baking these since my mother taught me as a child. My mother always made them and they were slightly thicker in the consistency. But I found over the last few years that the simple cup of eggs, cup of milk, cup of flour works fine for me. So right now I'm going to bring the pans, the muffin pans, over here, and I'm going to add some just normal vegetable oil. And like I said, I do have some beef fat left over from cooking some beef the other night, and I'm going to add a little bit of that in as well. So I'm going to go and grab the pans. You've got to be careful. They've been in a really hot oven, so when you're bringing them over, make sure you realize you're working with hot pans. So at this point, all I'm going to do is fill the bottom of the pan with some vegetable oil. And of course, I'm going to add my beef as well. At this point, don't panic. If you feel you've put too much oil in, it'll be fine. You can always, sometimes when that happens to me, I'll put the Yorkshire puddings on some paper towel when I bring them out of the oven, and that just takes a little bit of the oil from the exterior of the Yorkshire pudding. So I've got this into just like little bits. I'm just adding a little bit to each one, and this is just for flavour. Back in England, when I was growing up, beef fat would be the only thing that you would use for making Yorkshire puddings and things like this. You would get it from the local butcher. Before the whole supermarket thing started, we had a local butcher, a local grocer, and everybody knew everybody by name. And in my opinion, it was just a better time. So these are now going back into that hot oven. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes for that oil to get super hot. Good way of testing: open your door, you see the smoke, it's hot enough. And we will be right back when I've done that. So it's been about 15 minutes. The oil is now hot and ready to bring out. So at this point, I'm going to bring the oil out. I've poured the Yorkshire pudding mixture into a measuring jug just for ease of pouring. It's not 100% important, but it can make a difference with whether or not the Yorkshire pudding will rise in the oven. You got to try not to get it on the sides between the muffin pan, because what it does is it will start to cook there and it can stop the rest of the batter from rising. But anyway, don't forget, these are burning hot, full of burning oil, nice and gentle. Work it out. So just, you can hear it sizzling, that's a great thing. If it's sizzling, that means the oil was hot enough. Just about half full on all of them. One thing that is very important when you're making Yorkshire puddings, once these go back in the oven, do not open the oven at all. That cool draft will stop the batter from rising. So, get it all in. I'm going to open the door. Put these back in. Middle shelf, middle rack in the oven. And they'll take about 20 minutes. Don't open the oven until you're finished. So guys, the Yorkshire puddings have had 20 minutes in the hot oven. They are ready. I'm going to bring them out now. Be careful. I do have some paper towel right here. So I'm going to take them out. They're light and fluffy. And just seat them on the paper towel. With the bottom of it touching the towel. And that's it guys, like I said, this is a plate filler like a biscuit here in the south. I make them like this, and I just let them cool down and freeze them. And then when we use them on a dinner, I just take them out of the freezer and warm them slightly in the oven just to warm them back up. And that was Yorkshire puddings by Cooking with Cameron.